As anti-vax parents who sometimes tend to be part of the QAnon conspiracy theory group continue to push disinformation about the vaccine that's literally saving people's lives during this global pandemic, their children have to go behind their backs in order to get the vaccine. Now, in this case, Slate is reporting on young adults who have to unfortunately hide the fact that they're vaccinated from their families, but it gives you a sense of how family dynamics are called into question when it comes to something that shouldn't be controversial, something as simple as getting a vaccine to save your life. Now, there are specific people profiled in this piece. I wanna share a few of them with you, including Robin, who's 27 years old and lives with her parents in Illinois. She and her brother got their shots, and so has her dad, but her mother is an avid watcher of Tucker Carlson and believes in the power of hydroxychloroquine. So Robin had to go behind her mother's back, so did the other family members who are vaccinated. And she says, quote, "My mom was and still is mad at my dad for getting the vaccine and calls him a sheep, so I don't feel like telling her. She still thinks he'll get the side effects any day now, even though it's already been 2 to 3 months. My brother also doesn't want any drama." So it's really a double whammy here, right? There's the vaccine hesitancy, which puts people's lives in danger during this global pandemic. And then there are the family rifts that take place as a result of the propaganda, the anti-vaccine propaganda, on television, in various either independent or corporate outlets, usually right-wingers. We're seeing a little bit of a change in the way some right-wingers handle this issue, right? Well, for instance, the CEO of Newsmax recently came out and said that he's vaccinated, he's encouraging everyone else to get vaccinated. Maybe some of these outlets are concerned about potential class action lawsuits in the future. But Dr. Richey, have you experienced any of this? Have you had to persuade family members to get vaccinated because they unfortunately were exposed to the disinformation?
Hell no, everybody in my family was like, let's get it. When can we get it? So my family is a different dynamic. They don't listen to Tucker Carlson every night, okay? Here's a great irony and hypocrisy. These individuals will say, this is no worse than the common flu. But watch what they do. If you go and get a common flu shot, nobody in your family gets mad at you. So if this is no worse than the common flu, why is it when you go get the shot, people in your family get upset at you? Because it's about the politics or how it has been politicized. And it's been politicized in the tribal tradition of the Republican Party or the Republican movement right now, which is really the Trump Republican Party. What other healthcare decision, responsible healthcare decision you can make that would get this kind of reaction from family members who choose not to do it for themselves? If you want to go get a prostate exam, fine, go ahead. That doesn't mean everybody got to do it in the family. Nobody gets mad at you. Nobody falls out with you because of that. If you want to go and get a checkup, nobody falls out with you because they didn't get one. But if they're saying they don't want to get a vaccine for COVID, and you say you do, all of a sudden there's a rift in the family. No, there's something much deeper than just a healthcare conversation here.
It's interesting because the person who I think persuaded some of my family members to get vaccinated the most was Meghan McCain. I don't know if you remember, but Meghan McCain had a meltdown on The View because she wanted to get the vaccine sooner. She's like, I don't know when I'm gonna get the vaccine. I want the vaccine right now, and I don't have access to it, and I can't believe it. She was
That's
incensed.
An awesome impression.
She was so angry that she didn't have access to it. And there were some of my family members who were a little worried about the vaccine. They were a little hesitant. But watching a woman with the kind of privilege and wealth that Meghan McCain has have this public meltdown about not having access to it yet convince them, oh, if she wants it, then I want. Like if it's good for her, yeah, exactly. So in this weird roundabout way, she actually persuaded some of my family members to get vaccinated, who I think would have been a little more hesitant. But it's just crazy how you're right. I mean, this has turned into, and I think the coronavirus pandemic overall has been used as a culture war issue when it shouldn't have been, right? Masks became a culture war issue. The vaccine, unfortunately, it has become a culture war issue. And to see families torn apart over this is beyond sad. Because again, why does it get used as a culture war issue? Why does it get politicized? It's really about political posturing by people who are already in positions of power, people who have gotten vaccines, have gotten the vaccine themselves. Right. And they see it as a way for political posturing. They see it as a way for self-preservation. It's sick. But I want to share a few more stories with you, including Samuel. He's 21, lives in Toronto. His parents believe that the vaccine was, quote, manufactured by the deep state, end quote, and that when 5G gets turned on, it will kill everyone. So like, can we just stop for a second? Because I'm curious about this. Why would governments force businesses to shut down in order to slow the spread of COVID? Because in America, as we know, corporations rule everything. So for lawmakers to go against what corporations would want by ordering shutdowns in order to save lives, like the logic makes no sense. Why would they go through all of that in order to like later just kill everyone through a vaccine? How does that make any sense?
That's the beauty of a conspiracy theory. The more it doesn't make sense, the more it makes sense, right? To people that want to hear it. When you just read that, Anna, I literally had a dude who called my show early on during the COVID pandemic and said the exact same thing about 5G technology. And that rumor was so extreme that if you Googled the word 5G technology, literally a disclaimer that said, no, 5G technology does not contribute to COVID-19. But once again, you don't need facts, you don't need evidence, you don't need a scientific core when you have individuals who are willing to believe the lie. And that's what many have figured out, not only in politics, but also some of these individuals that posture as if they are left-leaning and they simply would like to have more eyes and ears on their particular content. They don't care about people. And they should be embarrassed. It is shameful that they are misguiding individuals for the sake of their own personal platform, rather than being a conduit for true education and true information and being one of the good guys. They are the villains in this narrative.
Absolutely. Now here we're talking about young adults who have to sneak behind their parents' backs in order to get vaccinated. But what happens if we're talking about teenagers? We're talking about minors who might need to rely on the permission of their parents to get vaccinated. Well, that topic was investigated a little bit in this next video. So let's take a look at what's happening around the country on that.
According to a survey by the Kaiser Family Foundation, an estimated 1 in 4 parents say they won't allow their kids to get vaccinated. In all but 5 states, 12 to 15-year-olds need their parents to sign off. For teens 16 to 18, it's all over the place.
Just like random times I would bring it up, just so they would get it in their head.
Megan logged online for help.
So after they said no and you got upset, then what did you do to get information to talk to them about it?
Well, I went upstairs into my room and I looked up how to convince your parents to get the vaccine.
That's exactly what you Googled?
Yeah.
How to convince your parents.
No, they got to get rid of the states that require permission for teenagers to get the vaccine. They got to lift that. They got to lift it. 1 in 4 parents are against their teenagers taking the vaccine? 1 in 4? That's insane. That's insanity.
Wow. It's so disturbing to hear that, because literally you have children who are more informed, who are more scientific, or at least they're looking at it from a scientific perspective. And they should be able, we're talking about teenagers, they should be able to make these kind of healthcare decisions without parental consent. And at least some states, they acknowledge that. But once again, if we got the schizophrenic back and forth between one state says yes, another state says no, this is a federal issue now. We need to have this conversation with our, with our federal government, with our federal lawmakers. But they want us to look at, the partisan conflict of investigating January 6th, which really won't change the reality of policy in this country.
Right. I want to share one more story, and this is from Ellie, who's 28 from Florida. Ellie says, when they found out, meaning when the parents found out, I was even thinking about getting the vaccine, they cried and legitimately thought I'd be dead in 3 years. If they did somehow find my vaccine card, they'd almost likely either kick me out or shun me in some way. No, these are parents who genuinely believe the misinformation that's been spread about this vaccine and understand that they're concerned that their child is gonna die from the vaccine. They genuinely, legitimately believe it. They're not trying to prevent family members from getting vaccinated because they want their family members to die. They have been misinformed by bad actors in the media to the point where they think their children getting vaccinated will cause them to die. So I say that because I think that distinction is important. These aren't necessarily, these aren't bad people necessarily, right? They're just people who believe the wrong things because they've been propagandized to believe the wrong things, including this notion that the vaccine is gonna kill you. And that's just not the case. I just wish we were able to have rational and logical discussions about these things, but how do you do that when people think that their bodies will be magnetized if they get the vaccine? How do you do that when people watch that one hearing of the video of that woman claiming that she was magnetized after getting the vaccine? She was like trying to stick a spoon on her neck and it wouldn't stick because she's not vaccinated. I mean, she's not magnetized. That didn't happen.
Yeah.
But it's just, we're in this weird, scary place where logic and reasoning is thrown out the window. And for some reason, it's no match for the propaganda out there, the anti-vaccine propaganda.
Thanks for watching The Young Turks, really appreciate it. Another way to show support is through YouTube memberships. You'll get to interact with us more. There's live chat emojis, badges. You've got emojis of me, Anna, John, JR. So those are super fun. But you also get playback of our exclusive member-only shows and specials right after they air. So all of that, all you gotta do is click that join button right underneath the video. Thank you.